So now I'm just going to tell you a few specific things that you can do for artists, but I mean, obviously the sky's the limit. You can think of a million different things you could do. But here's some strategic things. You could create a visual artist statement with your Instagram. So by showcasing your studio, like this person did here, take a nice little snapshot just of you're in the moment working, and then people will interact and engage with that. People love to see studio shots, I find, or desk shots. Those are really popular. Instagram is video, like little short video. And so here is one, just a short one, just showing the progress.
Sweet.
Showing the process. Also, as part of your sort of art statement, you could be taking snapshots of inspirational objects, scenes, textures, colors, anything you see that you're like, oh, that's really cool, I might want that later, or I might want to just let my followers know that this is the kind of thing that inspires me.
Right.
Also, you can use Instagram as a muse, so the filters and effects can help inspire your own art. I found this one, I didn't realize it until after, but it's the same Scott Page from Pink Floyd. So it's, he did this snapshot through Instagram. What he did is he just took a snapshot, ran it through a filter, and then he just kept running it through filters over and over, and it just kept layering it, and it became really like painterly. I thought it was really beautiful. So you can either just leave that and have it as digital art in its own right, or you could actually take that and then paint it. You know, so there's different ways you can be inspired by that. And then of course other people's work can be inspiring. So if you follow all kinds of people that inspire you, then if you're having a moment of like creative block, you can just go to your Instagram and lose hours looking at people's stuff.
Yeah.
Right? That's the, you know, scrolling through the photos. And then you can also use it as a test lab, so you can post sketches and ask for feedback. So I found this one using the hashtag critique welcome, and there's a whole bunch of others like critique community, and I think there's tons of that kind of stuff out there. And a lot of times when people put the critique welcome tag, they'll often just get likes, and that just means people like what you're doing. But sometimes you actually get a thoughtful critique, which is useful for the work that you're doing. So this Peculiar Boy guy, he had a lot out there, and most of them were just people liking, encouraging him to do more. But then there was this one that actually gave him some feedback.
So he put one of his paintings out there, you mean?
Yeah, just took a snapshot of, I think it was a drawing, and then it was like...
It looks like it might be a video, because tilt shift is a video term.
Oh, is it?
Well, it's just my thought, because he talks about tilt shift and vignette.
Yeah, I can't remember. I have the image, but I don't have it there. But
Yeah, but could be photography too. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a great that little critique video.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that, as an artist, you know, like in art school, after you leave art school, you don't get that opportunity to have critiques from other artists very often. So it's great. Now you have the whole world. Just put it out there and get feedback. You have to have a bit of a thick skin though, just in case there are some people who say negative things. And be willing to also deal with any trolls that might decide to, like if you get a lot of comments, then people might start to troll you, which means they just want attention, so they put negative stuff out there.
Yeah, right.
So I always say just like try to ignore the negative stuff and look only for the constructive stuff. Another way you can use Instagram as a test lab is by posting different pieces of art and then monitoring the popularity. So then you can get a sense for like, oh, people really like this series of art that I did, and less so this series, and then it might influence the next direction you take your art.
Yeah. People are doing that on Facebook now, which I actually really like. Not to take away from this, but they are doing it on Facebook more and more, and you can see, oh yeah, like that, it's getting a lot of response.
Yeah.
It's not so much. It's an interesting.
It's like peer, it's like crowdsourcing your peer feedback.
Yeah, and you can see what kind of people like
certain
things and what kind of people like other stuff, as opposed to you know, and everyone liking the same thing.
At the end of the day, it's up to you whether you're going to take feedback or not.
Yeah. It's up to you if you want to sell your art or not.
or invite them to this opening and not that opening.
That's right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, because
segment your audience.
they're gonna sell to these guys, and it's not gonna sell to these guys. Like, that's kind of what I thought it was more
exactly
doing, right?
Yeah, that's great. That's perfect.
Yeah.
The other thing you can do is tease out your artwork by revealing progress. And part of this, it does a bunch of different things. One of it is it gives away your technique. So some people don't want to do that, but if you're willing to do that, because another artist is never going to do it the same way that you're doing it anyway, it's helpful because it's revealing your technique to someone and might inspire someone in your circle. But also it teases it out, so if you have an upcoming exhibit, people will be like, oh, I can't wait to see what that looks like when it's finished.
Right,
And then they'll go and see it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like seeing a workshop production.
Yeah. Basically what you need to connect is a smartphone app, or a smartphone, an internet connection, and the Instagram app itself. Username ideas, profile image, short bio description, and so that you can have this all set up, and then you can start following people and liking, commenting, and taking your own photos. So I'm going to finish with a video. It's a walkthrough of the app itself. So since I don't have the cable to plug into my phone to show you myself, here's a video, and it's just a note that it's the older version of the app. So it looks a little different now, but the features are exactly the same. The button might look different or be in a different spot. But so here we go.
Hi everybody, Marlon Dean here with smartphonenirvana.com. We're going to go over another camera app, and this one happens to be the world's most famous camera app, Instagram. The reason it's so famous is because Facebook just paid $1 billion for it. It's got all these filters along the bottom here that makes any photograph look like it's either a Polaroid from 1977, or it just boosts the color and just makes it look fantastic. Instagram, let's go. I'll show you what the app looks like right now. So let's just check it out. Tap on it. Looks like an old Instamatic camera. If you look down here along the bottom, you'll see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 icons. Up on the top right here is just for you to get in and out of the app. But as you start sliding through, you're going to see, let me get closer here, you're going to see how it really is like the Facebook of photo apps. I mean, I can see why Facebook paid so much money for it. What it is just people taking pictures of what you would think are ordinary things, but when they're done utilizing the filters and the special effects on this, it makes normal photographs really come alive and look fantastic. I mean, there's some really good photographers, but then there's other photographers that are just amateurs and they still end up taking fantastic pictures. On the bottom along here, you see where it says likes? Same thing, you tap on it twice, that means you like it. And it goes on there. And you can make comments just like on Facebook, and you can share it to go on Facebook. It's very, very simple. There's my son JD, a shot I did earlier. You can see these are other people that I follow. There's another shot of JD that I did earlier as well. So let me give you an example. Along the bottom here, this is the home on the left. Next to that, you tap that. This is the popular page. What they do every day is that they'll just take random pictures that they like and they'll put them up here on the popular page. And then over here to the bottom right, you click on that and you can end up setting up your account the way you want it. You can put certain friends from Facebook. You can invite specific friends if you want to, change your profile. Next to that, this is like the feed. You know, the people that you're following, like your friends on Facebook, well, you can develop friends here on Instagram, and you can see all the photographs that they're doing. So you can check that out. Now, let's get down to the most coolest part. You check out this camera right there. You just tap on that, and it brings up the camera. I've got a shot there of a plant. You see I have a high-budget studio. On the bottom left right here, you see the square on top of the square. Tap on that, and it brings up your camera roll. So if you have an iPhone or an Android, it brings it up. And you can tap on your camera roll and you can choose any shot that you want. I'm going to go ahead and get my son JD and our neighbor Jade right here. And once a photograph comes up, you can crop it. It's a square shape on Instagram, which is a little different than most apps. So on certain other shots, you want to zoom in to crop it. Move it around any way you want. Once you're happy with the crop, down here on the bottom, you hit choose.
Oh, I see. Okay, I didn't see what it is.
And then it brings up the really cool part of the app, which is the bottom. All these filters are what enhances the photograph. So you can, for instance, with one touch, you can make it black and white. You can make it look like it's from the 70s. There's black and white. They have this one filter called 1977, which makes it look like a Polaroid.
Yeah.
So you've got the Polaroid boundary and everything. Kelvin really boosts the color. Come over here, look. See what it does? Every single one of these looks fantastic. Now on the bottom left, I don't know what they call this button, but I call it the enhancer. It's just one touch. It boosts the color. See what it did? It makes everything sharper and it balances everything out. It looks fantastic. And if you just want to stop there, you hit the green check and it'll go ahead and be ready for you to download it on Facebook or email it to yourself. But I want to show you up here on top, these different icons. This is whether or not you want a border additive or if you don't. This is if you want to rotate it. This is if you want the front-facing camera to come on and take a picture of yourself. This, to me, this teardrop right here is the coolest part. It's the vignette blur. And if you tap on this little circle comes up. And this circle, you can decide what you want to focus on, and the rest, the background, gets out of focus. And another cool thing you can do is when you tap into it, you can control how big or small you want that vignette to be. So I'm going to go right there to get both of their beautiful little faces. And you can see here, get a little tighter, you see how the faces are in focus, but over here everything else gets out of focus. So whether it's flowers, people, animals, whatever that you have in mind, really looks cool when you do that. If you like what you see, hit the green check mark. And then you can see here, Twitter, Facebook, you can email it to yourself and print it out when you get home. For those of you that are more advanced, it's got the Flickr, Tumblr, Foursquare, all kinds of different places to share your photograph. Caption is something you need to do. When you hit the caption, you can put in a title. You have to do that. You do not have to put in the enable geotag. If you're on vacation, I recommend you do that, but if you're not, for privacy reasons, you may not want to do that. So once you have the photograph that you're finished, it gets inside the feed, and then people can just tap on it twice. Little heart comes up, and that means it's liked. And they can leave comments underneath as well. So you can see how it's just like Facebook, but just on photography.
Is this online?
And like I said before, it could be something that you would think would be boring, but man, when they're done utilizing it with these filters, they look fantastic. And they have a search window in there, so if you can put in dogs, cats, you can put in a lamp, and you'll get 1,000 pictures of different lamps from all around the world, and they look incredible. So you got to check this app out. It's absolutely free. Instagram for iPhone or for Android. So speaking of iPhone, if you want to learn more details about the iPhone, check out my website, smartphonenirvana.com. Thanks so much for checking this out.
Great job. Yeah, that's great.